Good evening, everyone. Severe with our Team 9 meteorologist Nathan John joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. And coming up, we're going to be talking about rain showers, not snow showers, rain showers ahead for this week as just a mild pattern is going to not only has it taken hold, but it just continues as we go into this weekend. Mild for this time of the year. Those average highs are falling into the 30s, but we are in the 40s to even 50s likely for highs as we go throughout this week. So we'll touch on the temperatures, touch on our rain chances as we look ahead, and if there's any snow in the immediate future, which I think there can be at least a little bit. So we'll discuss that as well. Thanks, as always, for tuning in to this edition of Nate at 8. I appreciate it. So coming up again, rain showers into Tuesday, more rain into Christmas Day, mild pattern into the weekend. So let's jump into things. That's some of what we're going to be mapping out here for this evening. Our current temperatures now have fallen in the 30s. We're going to hover around the mid-lower 30s is where the extent of our cooling can end up. So we can still hear for the first half of tonight drop just a few more degrees likely. Again, closer to mid 30s, so low 30s can be in the mix. That's the extent of our cooling. And again, it's more early tonight that we'll notice these temperatures drop. They'll be not only stable, but actually start to climb back up. And by daybreak tomorrow, we can see those temperatures climb back into even possibly the 40s. So we'll see temperatures initially drop here early on tonight and then pick back up as the night progresses. We have spotted some rain, snow over us for the first half of tonight, but we still have some very dry air in place above us. So we're seeing that rain and snow fall, but is failing to reach the ground. This layer of dry is really eating up this precipitation. As we see this occur, of course, this layer of dry air will moisten to the extent where it's no longer an impact, but this process also helps cool our temperatures through a process we call wet bulbing. And that process of this dry air eating up this precipitation is also a cooling effect. And we'll see that cooling effect here in place early on tonight. And we'll notice this precipitation eventually break out. When? Likely not until we get closer to and even especially after midnight tonight. Yes, we still can have quite some time here over the next several hours before this precipitation really starts to take hold. And you'll notice here initially early tonight, there's our temperatures dropping, right? Going up to 10 o'clock, notice mid-lower 30s. Then notice what happens even as we get closer to midnight. Temperatures starting to pick back up. And then we'll, hover mid-upper 30s and then even towards that 40-degree mark by daybreak tomorrow. There's those rain showers. Again, this isn't a real hard soaking rain the second half of tonight, but these rain showers will increase in coverage. A lot of this is light. And we'll see these occasional rain showers going into tomorrow morning. We're still dealing with some rain showers towards the morning commute, but by the time the morning commute arrives, a lot of these rain showers are tapering at least to more of the isolated varieties. So I don't think that tomorrow is necessarily dry. It's more, instead of wet, think of it more of a damp day. So I think tomorrow we'll still deal with some lingering showers, but they just are going to be much more isolated in nature. And what we can see more of even a shower activity is the very fine, light drizzle that we can see at times continue throughout Tuesday. So not really wet Tuesday, but it's certainly more damp. It's dreary. It's not real cold. As you can see, highs are nearing 50. That's warm this time of the year. So it's on the cool side. It's damp. It's dreary. That's the best way I can sum up tomorrow for us. But again, a lot of these light rain showers that fall overnight, tapering off by tomorrow morning's commute. It's just back to some more isolated light showers, some drizzle that we'll see persist as we go throughout your Tuesday, and just kind of a kind of day, unfortunately, ahead for Tuesday. By Tuesday night, cloudy skies still in place, but these lingering light showers, the drizzle will likely taper off early Tuesday night, and we won't deal with that then as we go into Wednesday. I still think we could see a lot of cloud cover hold tight Wednesday. And, especially when we're dealing with quite a bit of a temperature inversion in place that likes to trap these low level clouds near the surface, we can see that into play on Wednesday, where these cloudy skies, they could linger throughout the day Wednesday. I know Futurecast showed quite a bit of clearing there, but we can get into a situation, I think, where we can still see quite a bit of cloud cover Wednesday, but not anticipating any precipitation on Wednesday. Then comes our second system. Again, another weak one. A similar story to what we're dealing with tonight, that what we're going to see return is some light rain showers. And the second system is really pretty similar timing. We're seeing this late Wednesday night into Thursday morning for Christmas Day. In similar timing, these light rain showers, again, return closer to, if not after midnight. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But I do think this time around into Thursday for Christmas Day in the afternoon and evening, we do start to see that drizzle and these showers taper off. So I don't think it lingers as long as what we could see for Tuesday going into Thursday. But a lot of similarities there, really. A lot of similarities there from what we're going to deal with tomorrow and into Thursday. And our temperatures we're nearing 50. We may come up short of it on Christmas Day. Nonetheless, still unseasonably warm for Christmas Day. Yes, unfortunately, as we have likely heard by now, it's a green Christmas. Unfortunately, no snow chances in the forecast coming our way into Christmas Day. Just some light rain showers, and that's likely going to be it. And again, these are not washouts. These light rain showers. It's not a washout Christmas Day, especially in the afternoon. Evening can end up mainly dry, if not completely dry. It's not a washout tomorrow. It's against more damp with some lingering, drizzle, couple showers in the mix throughout the day, but less than ideal conditions. Still a lot of cloud cover, pretty dreary overall Christmas Day. Again, it's seasonably warm. Those highs are still likely well in the 40s. That's what we have setting up here as we go through Christmas Day. Now, by Friday, the story can change some. This is when we'll start to see more widespread rain likely across our area. This is more of a soaking rain, and we're going to deal with a lot more rain likely Friday than what we see for Christmas Day or what we see for tomorrow as well. Then by Saturday, looking to dry back up. So precipitation amounts for both time periods. This includes Christmas Day. This includes tonight, tomorrow. Not much, considering this is going over several days, right? Going into Christmas Day, not much. Likely staying up to about a quarter of an inch, and that's including, again, what we deal with tonight and tomorrow, as well as Wednesday night and for Christmas Day on Thursday. These are very light amounts, and certainly nothing that's going to be a washout, put a real damper on traveling as we go through Christmas Day. But I will say Friday, not that it looks really impactful, but you notice a lot difference there. I mean, this is over just one day, and we could pick upwards of around a half of an inch of rain over one day. So that helps put into perspective the difference between, several days going into Christmas Day and then the day after Christmas on Friday, where we can amount around a half of an inch while we're struggling to get above even a quarter of an inch over the period of tonight, tomorrow, as well as Wednesday night, Thursday. So puts into perspective that Friday will likely feature a lot more rain. It can be more of a nuisance to drive in. Nothing real impactful. These are not, flooding concerns or anything. Those are still some lighter amounts, but certainly heavier, I think, Friday with respect to what we're dealing with tomorrow, and again, going into Christmas Day, around a half of an inch, right around that ballpark of around a half of an inch of total precipitation looks possible as we go throughout Friday. Can't see a breeze, but nothing as windy as what we just dealt with for this past weekend. But we can deal with some at least wind gusts upwards about 25 miles per hour into Friday, as well as what we're going to deal with on going into tomorrow. So a bit of a breeze present, but likely nothing that's going to be real windy coming our way. Austin, good evening. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. A lot has happened. Last Wednesday night, Santa Claus was riding down my street in a fire truck with EMS right behind. How awesome there, Austin. Santa Claus, big day, almost here. He's been busy, I'm sure. All these Christmas parades across the area. The final countdown to Christmas Day upon us. Good evening. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Renee, and to everyone tuning in. Appreciate it as always. The wind was so strong last Thursday that I could hear it whistling. Been busy baking a ton of Christmas cookies. So yeah, that was the high winds that we had going into this past weekend. That we had some of those with the big cool down that followed with those winds into Friday. We had a little snow showers in the mix there Friday as well into this past weekend. I don't think we're going to get as windy as what we had with that period here looking ahead into Christmas Day, but nonetheless, still a breeze can be present. Austin says, I helped baked. Look at this list. This is awesome, Austin. Chocolate chip oatmeal, peanut butter blossoms, peanut butter cup cookies, Christmas pretzels with Rolos with a M&M and pecan nuts. That sounds amazing, Austin. Definitely sounds like you've been busy with those Christmas cookies. That's awesome. Those sound good. Some of those are my favorites for sure, Christmas cookies. So right on. That's awesome, Austin. Sounds good. Now, during this stretch with these rain showers, like I mentioned, is a pretty mild pattern, and our temperatures during this stretch in the 40s to 50s. Our coolest day is likely Wednesday, but even then, it's mid-lower 40s, more chilly than cold Wednesday. And then nearing the 50s Christmas Day, and then we're likely in the 50s Friday and Saturday. And we will likely see a cool down Sunday into Monday. We'll get to that in a minute. But at least here near term, going through Christmas Day into this weekend, that this is a unseasonably warm pattern, and temperatures are close to 10 plus over average by not only for tomorrow, but again for Christmas Day, as well as Friday and into Saturday. Just a warm stretch of weather going into Christmas Day. Now, we've had here as of recent some warm Christmas days relative to average, right? Relative to average. We have not had a cold Christmas day since 2022. And if you think back to 2022, you may remember this. That was that stretch where we had into Christmas Day. I believe it was around the 23rd to the 26th of December that we had not only some frigid temperatures, but those wind chills were brutal. It was very, very windy going into that stretch into Christmas Day in 2022. And those wind chills reached before Christmas Day and during that stretch, even below negative 30 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. That was a Christmas to remember of 2022, that's for sure, in terms of the amount of wind and the frigid conditions that we had in 2022. But that's been it. Now this year will mark the third year in a row that we've dealt with a unseasonably warm Christmas Day, and likely proving to be warmer than what we had last year, 2024, with a high of 43, but not anticipating for us to get anywhere close to 63 for a high. We're going to come up short of what we had in 2023, but nonetheless, 3 years in a row where we're dealing with some above normal temperatures for our Christmas Day, unfortunately. But like I mentioned, it's warm going into the weekend, but it does look like that we have a shot of cold air coming our way. And it's a shame the timing of this just doesn't line up a little better, but we will have likely a shot of cold air arriving by early next week. So while, yes, conditions just fine for traveling as we go into the weekend, I would watch on Sunday. I don't think it's going to be horrendous. I don't, but I would watch and use some caution when traveling later on the day Sunday and into Monday morning. So yes, this means we can have snowbird alerts. Schools going into next Monday. We can have a lot of area schools just out until New Year's Day. I don't know. Anyway, if there's some schools in session, we're likely deal with some snowbird alerts into Monday there. I forget how long a lot of those school have off, whether it's just through New Year's Day, if they go back for a couple of days, have off. But nonetheless, if any schools are still open during that stretch, deal with some snowbird alerts into Monday. But certainly for, all of us outside of school that got to get back to work, something to keep in mind Monday morning, because again, I don't think it's horrendous, but it's something to watch because it's one of those situations where we've got the rain and possibly just a little bit of snow into Monday. I don't see a lot. It's not going to be a lot of snow. And when it comes to accumulations, it doesn't look like much. But the tail end of this with a little bit of snow possible into Monday. And the bigger concern, I think, is the situation that we had running into Friday of last week, where we had the cool down that we have to watch as we're dealing with some wet roads, and then we're also dealing with temperatures really falling off. Sunday, temperatures are likely dropping throughout the day. So we do have to watch, just like we had Friday, when temperatures are dropping throughout the day and we're quickly falling below freezing, even towards 20 into Monday morning, that we can develop areas of ice or slick spots late Sunday into Monday morning. So that's the only thing to note. A lot of us may be, getting back home before then, but I would watch later on to the day Sunday, and we'll get better timing of this going throughout this week to give you an idea of what to really watch. But later on in the day Sunday, especially towards the evening, Sunday night, I'd watch later on in the day, and then into Monday morning, That's where we could develop some slick spots on our roads. And again, maybe just a little bit of snow. I don't foresee much in terms of accumulation, but maybe a little bit of snow into Monday with those snow showers and just some very cold temperatures there into that Monday, Tuesday with highs in the 20s. And then we'll climb back 30s, even closer to 40 degrees next Thursday. But we are watching there early on into next week that we're dealing with some very cold temperatures returning and potential there for just a little bit of snow, but more of just those slick spots or areas of ice that can develop Sunday night into Monday. So I just want to mention that so you don't get caught off guard. Outside of that, roads are wet. It's a nuisance on Friday. Roads are wet Friday. It's a nuisance Friday, but, really nothing of real big impact, thankfully. And that's the one silver lining, I guess you can say, of dealing with a green Christmas is at least, we don't have to worry about icy, snowy roads getting to family over the holiday. But certainly watch on Sunday. We'll keep an eye on it. Stay tuned for the latest. And, depending on how the forecast is fine-tuned going into the weekend is something that you may just want to take into consideration. Maybe want to get home earlier in the day, Sunday, or maybe even Saturday, depending on how the forecast is shaping up. Again, it doesn't look like anything horrendous, but it does look like that if we're dealing with anything impactful, especially in terms of any wintry impacts there of this, icy, snowy roads, that would be the only time period that is of concern, late Sunday going into Monday morning. Austin says, can't believe that the end of the year is warming up. Last night, the electricity went out, but thankfully it came back on. I actually remember grilling on Christmas Day because of the hot weather. I believe it, Austin. Those 60s were quite hot just a couple of years ago. For this time of the year, that is some hot temperatures to see those highs in the 60s. Certainly not normal. Far from it. The normal highs are starting to fall, as you can see, right around 40, but we're starting to fall in the 30s this time of the year into late December. So well off from normal to see highs in the 60s. Also says, I hope that we get a Santa Claus tracker, an 8-8 special on Christmas Eve. And I don't know if I'll have a Santa Claus tracker. We look into that, but I will be here on Christmas Eve for that edition of Nate at 8. I will be here coming up here over the next couple of days to give you guys the latest as we do go into the weekend, of course, on what to watch for. So, yes, I will be here over the next couple of days, including on Christmas Eve, as we all await Santa's arrival on Santa be tracking in some chilly rain going into Christmas morning, unfortunately. But Santa Claus is going to be kind of probably bummed out too, right? Not able to travel in the snow, some chilly rain, but nonetheless, at least Santa Claus doesn't have to worry about slipping on any of those icy roofs. We don't have to worry about any snow-covered roofs here as we go into Christmas Day. And it reminds me of there's a Santa Claus movie, right? Reminds you of that. But nonetheless, thank you all so much for tuning in. You can catch me coming up News Night at 10 on Fox Eye. News Night tonight at 11 for the latest. And as always, for that next edition of Nate at 8 coming up tomorrow evening. And again, we'll have another Nate at 8 coming up on Christmas Eve as well. Have a wonderful night. I'll see all of you on the next edition of Nate at 8.